Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, most of you know I've lost over 100 pounds. So today I want to talk about my daughter's weight loss journey. I posted a video recently and I got a few questions. I also got concerns and I just kind of want to address them. I do want to have a sit down with her because I want you guys to hear directly from her mouth, like what she's done. Let me know if you guys want me to share maybe like her shopping hauls, because this girl is very much like, she does her own shopping. She makes her own drinks. She's like a really independent girl, and so she just likes to do her own thing. Now, a little backstory, if you guys did not see the video, I have a 14-year-old daughter. Her name is Natalia, and she has lost 40 pounds in the last 8 months or so, maybe a little over that now. I wanted to come up here and make this video because, you know, I don't want too much time to go in between. And then once I sit down with her, then you guys can ask more questions. But I do have some questions that I saw repeated. And so I was like, okay, I will answer the ones that I feel like pertain more to me as a mother, right? Because obviously I've had my own weight loss journey. My daughter ended up gaining weight. To be honest with you, she's always been a bigger girl. My daughter is 14. She's 6 feet tall. So she's never been like this petite little girl ever since she was a toddler. But she definitely did start gaining weight once she was, I would say, going into middle school. That's probably when I saw a little bit more of like that weight gain. And if you guys want like an actual story time on that, then I could totally do it. But today I want to answer some of your questions. I'll let her answer more of the actual dietary stuff that she's been doing, just because, you know, I feel like you guys might want to hear that from her as she's a kid and or a teenager. And I don't know, I think it's interesting. I'm so proud of her. I love the fact that she did it by nourishing her body. She did not starve herself. She just completely changed her eating habits. And obviously that's the best, you know, that's the best thing for her. So I have the first question. Now, before we get started, I do want to give Seed a special thank you for sponsoring this part of the video. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I've been taking Seed for over 3 years. I feel like with any weight loss journey or just in general, our gut health is so super important, especially if you are already having like, it could be anything from hair loss to bloating after you eat, inflammation in your body, psoriasis, all of that stems from your gut. So 70% of our immune system lives in our gut. Okay, a lot of us don't know that, but our gut is so important. And so that's why I always talk about the cleaner ingredients, cutting out seed oils, things like that. So if you don't have a probiotic that you love and you trust, I highly recommend Seed. It's their DS1 Symbiotic. I will leave a link in the description below. Use my discount code. It's LCL25 for 25% off your entire order. Okay, so the first question is, was it Nati's idea to lose weight, or did you need to give her a little push? Now, it was completely, so a little bit of both. When she was younger, I definitely was trying to be that mom where I'm like, oh, maybe you shouldn't eat that. Like maybe, you know, I was like definitely really trying to like hyper like focus on the foods she was eating. Because of course, like I love, you know, she's my world. I don't want her to go through everything that I had to go through on my weight loss journey. And so I was always it was always coming from a place of love. You know, it was never like, oh my God, like she's gaining too much weight. Like what's going on? Like what she looks like. It had nothing to do with that. I think for me, I was just like protecting her. I wanted to protect her from like going through just like the emotional and physical and, you know, all of that trauma. But that's not how our mind works, guys. You always have to remember that the more you restrict, it's just it's just how it works. Your mind is just gonna want that even more. So when I realized that wasn't working, I completely backed off. But there was an article that I read where a doctor, and she's a psychologist, she talks about how a lot of like fitness people, nutritionists, just people that have lost a lot of weight in their life or just are really, really kind of in that industry where like their entire life revolves around food, most of their children are overweight. And it comes from them being so like restrictive, like don't eat that, like how could you eat that, like, you know. And so when I realized, I was like, oh my God, like I'm doing this to her, you know, I'm the one causing her to be like more obsessive about food. But until their body feels safe and they're kind of like in this relaxed, neutral state when it comes to food, until then, they might actually continue to gain weight. So I was like, oh my gosh. But I read it and I actually truly believed it, because I just know how my mind works. And the more I restrict, it completely, totally always ends up in a binge. And so I did it. And I did not talk to her about dieting. I did not talk to her about food. I did not talk to her. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with her and told her, like, babe, moving forward, like, I do not want you to feel like you cannot eat certain foods. Yeah, probably over 3 years ago when I had this conversation with her. And so, but I told her, I said, you know, if you feel like having popcorn, if you feel like having chips, if you feel like having this or that, you're going to eat it. And she was literally shocked. And I was like, yeah. I said, because I don't want to be a part of, like, I don't want to be a reason why you feel like a certain type of way about food. And she was just like, okay. And sure enough, I would see her and I just had to be like, nope. Like, I have to trust that sooner or later, she is just going to understand that, like, you know, like, she is just not going to have that bad relationship with food, because a lot of us do, like, you know, me included. So anyway, not to go too much into this, but yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I pulled completely back. And then last summer she came to me and she's just like, Mom, she literally walked through my door and I was sitting down and I was like, yeah, babe. She's like, it's time. And I was like, you know, I was like, for what? She's like, I want to lose weight. And I was like, really? I was like, okay. I put my phone down and I was like, talk to me. She just started saying, like, yeah, I don't want to keep gaining weight. I feel like I'm getting big. And then I was like, okay. I'm like, I told her, I was like, babe, you're not big. You're a tall girl. She's like, Mom, you know, like, stop. And I was like, no, I'm serious. I said, you're still young. Your body's going to change. I said, don't worry about that. Right. I'm still, like, you know, just talking to her, making her feel just like really at ease with everything. And so I talk about this in the last video, but I was like, okay, like, what foods do you want to eat? Because I wanted to, like, really just kind of figure out, like, what she was thinking. So she said, like, I want to eat meat and I want to eat eggs and ground beef and avocado and this and that. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, and I want to have fruits and yogurt with honey, like, whenever I'm craving something sweet. And I was like, okay, that's perfect. I said, that's great. She said, you know, I love fruit, so I want to be able to do that. And I was like, absolutely. So we went shopping. And I will say that she definitely, I think that's another question on here. So let me see. But anyway, to answer your question, I know that was a little long, but originally I tried giving her a little push. It didn't work. And I waited until she came around, and then she came to me, and then I was there for all the answers. You know, I didn't want to push low carb on her. I didn't want to push keto on her. I'm just so happy that she came to me with that. Now, next question, did she cut all the carbs? At first, she literally had no carbs. And I don't want to say no carbs because she still had her fruit, but she had no, like, let's just say no rice, no potatoes, no sweet potatoes, no corn, no tortillas, bread, rice, none of that stuff. So the only sugar or carbs she was getting were, of course, carbs from, like, some of the veggies. And then she was doing the fruit with a little honey. So did she cut all the carbs? No, because she was still having, like, a little honey in her yogurt, but she definitely cut out a lot of the carbs, like, I would say the higher carb foods. Now, honey is very high in carbs, but at the end of the day, she's a kid, she plays water polo, she's, you know, super active. So honey is, you know, if she's having a tablespoon or two of honey, it's almost nothing. So I would say for her, as active as she is, she definitely did a huge cut on carbs. But overall, no, she did not cut all carbs out. Just to answer that question, okay? Moving on to the next. Do you worry about her being obsessed about weight loss and weight gain? Now, of course, that's a big worry of mine because I've been through, you know, I've been there, done that, and it's a horrible mentality to be in. It's almost like a cycle, right? And so I always want to gauge her. Like, I'm always asking her, like, babe, how are you feeling? Like, what are you doing? And she's just like, for the most part, she's really, really good about everything. Like, oh, I'm great. You know, like, I feel good. Look at, like, she's super proud of herself. Like, she's like, look at this. Look at my jeans. Look at how much looser they're fitting me. And I'm like, Mama, I'm so proud of you, you know? And I know some people are like, oh, like, she shouldn't be doing that. Like, oh, she's a kid. Like, why are you talking about weight loss? Well, I mean, we talk about weight loss because she also went through a weight loss journey. I also want her to feel seen, and I want her to understand that I am so proud of her, especially because she did it in a way that is so motivational and inspirational, not only to children, but to adults. You know, think about it. She's a 14-year-old girl that was able to lose 40 pounds naturally, serving herself plates this big, right? I mean, she eats on a charcuterie board and like fueling her body. Like, how awesome is that? That a teenager that used to eat a bunch of, you know, she would eat processed foods. She would have takeout. She was always eating out. She loved eating out. I love eating out, but she always was eating out. And then she made the conscious decision to now only eats at home for the most part, like 90% of the time just eats at home, and she eats whole foods. I'm so proud of her. Like, how could I not? And, you know, and I can't wait for her to share all of this with you guys, because I feel like it is just so simple. It is like such a simplified method, which I haven't talked about this too much, but the weight loss guide that I put together earlier this year was something that she and I put together. Like, these are foods that we both eat. When we say like we're locked in, like we are on it, you know what I mean? Because hey, guys, we're human. We also kind of get wishy-washy and we're like, get back to it. Monday, you know what I mean? So when we are locked in, guys, it works. That is what the weight loss guide that I have on, I'll leave it linked for you in the description below. It's exactly what she's done. It's exactly what I've done. I'm not gonna lie, she was a lot more like en línea. Like, she was just really, really on her ish. So I'm super proud of her for that. You know what I mean? How can I not talk about it with everyone, you know? Okay, so another question is, what did she do for school lunches? Okay, at first, she was actually, she was doing a bit of an intermittent fast. So she would fast until her lunchtime at school, which is, I think, noon. And then we would do same thing. So basically what she would be eating at home, she'd be eating at school. She'd do ground beef. Like, even right now, this morning, I packed her. Oh, I actually made a recipe yesterday that's kind of like with marinara. So it was just low sugar marinara, ground beef. I put zucchini, mushrooms, and then that's what she packed. You know, yesterday I made her a quick ground beef with onions and just made kind of like almost like a stir fry, and I pack it in her little container. So that's what she takes for lunch. She takes a lot of ground beef. Ground beef is so easy. 1, it's budget friendly. 2, it's super high in protein. 3, she loves it, and it's easy. It's so easy. You could throw bell peppers, you could throw onions, you could throw cilantro, tomato. There's just like so many different recipes that you can make with it. You can make a hamburger, cheeseburger, you know what I mean? There's like a lot of different things. And so she likes that. I also do chicken stir fries. I do so many different things, but to answer your question, she does very high protein lunches. I pack her like little things of seaweed. She does take like an apple. She'll take some grapes, like as her, you know, just like a little snack or something. I'm just trying to think. Oh, she always takes like some yogurt. So sometimes I do the little, like the Faye that's completely unsweetened, and then some little berries on the side. Or she also does like the little oikos that has the vanilla flavor in it. Those are low carb, super high, not super high in protein, but they have 15 grams of protein. So those are her lunches. And then she comes home, and like right now, she just got home from school. I heard her walk in. She's guaranteed making her lunch right now. So that's kind of how her day goes. In the morning, she doesn't eat anything until, I think now she is having like a little snack, and then she does her lunch and then comes home and eats a really, really good like lunch, I guess you can say, like a second lunch. And then later today, she'll have a little bit of protein. So that's what she takes for lunch. I'm just kind of going over some of the questions. So in case you're wondering if she exercises, or if she was exercising during her weight loss journey, she plays water polo. So she does a lot of swimming. This one, okay, this question says, does she feel pressure to keep up with me? So I would say no. Natalia, she's 14 years old. She has a very, she just has a mind of her own. Like, she does not try to be like me. She does not try to keep up with me. I think, you know, at the end of the day, I am her mother. I think she, in her own way, looks up to me, but she doesn't, let me tell you, she doesn't let that be known, okay? I have a kid that is very, yeah, she puts me in my place. She's just very, she's Nati. If you guys been following me for a while on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I share a lot on Instagram on stories and stuff. But no, I really don't think that she feels pressure to keep up with me. If I tell her, let's do this, she is not gonna follow what I say. Like, she wants to do what she wants to do. She eats what she wants to eat. She drinks what she wants to drink. She dresses how she wants to dress. Like, now, of course, if I felt that there was something wrong with any of those things that I just mentioned, of course I would intervene, you know, like, I am her mother, but she's a really great kid, and I don't have those issues. But, you know, I don't think that she has felt any pressure whatsoever. Like I said, I just waited until she was ready for it. I'm telling you right now, if I would have forced her to try to lose weight, she would have literally turned around and told me, Mom, you need to stop. Like, I am a kid, or she would have literally, I'm telling you, like, it's just not, that was not going to happen. Even if I wanted to force that on her, she's not a kid that is going to be like, okay, like, sure, I'm going to do whatever you want. So no, I don't feel that she felt any type of pressure. Again, this was just her decision. I was here for her, and I'm so happy that she's had the results, the success that she's had with, yeah, just with her new way of eating, you know? And so anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to come on here. I wanted to answer some of these questions. I feel like they were great questions. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you guys, what you guys would like to see from her. Again, I know that it's inspirational that a kid that's so young was able to do this, because so many of us struggle to lose weight, and she was able to do it in, I could really say, in a healthy way. Let me know if you guys want a few more questions answered. I'm more than happy to do that. Comment, you know, just leave those questions in the comments below, and then I will go through them. But if you did like this video, then make sure you hit that like button and show me some love. Don't forget, share, especially something like this. Share this video with your friends. Maybe they have kiddos that are also maybe trying to figure out what to feed them, or where to start. And so something like this could be really helpful, because you're not doing anything wrong. You're literally taking away processed junk and switching that out with whole foods that we are intended to eat, single ingredient foods. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.